The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Episode 3, Challenge, War of the Worlds, Recap, Fantasy Scoring. We got it all for you. And if you want to get into a draw for $20 DK, here's what you do. 2 ways to do it, too. Maybe even 3. We'll make it 3 ways to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks. Winners announced on Monday's show, by the way, if you're looking to see who won. Number 1, smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section and give me your 3 power teams, power ranked. No spoilers. This is a spoiler-free zone for the rest of the season. We're obviously going to, we're recapping an episode, so we're going to spoil this one. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're watching this or listening to this. If you haven't watched the episode yet, maybe you just enjoy Paul and I don't know. That's one way. Number 2, leave an iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher review. 5 stars, DraftKings handle, something nice about the show. That's the second way. Third way, I released a photo of the show notes from my Monday show on my Instagram account at the PME. All you need to do, follow the account, heart the picture, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section of that photo, and you're in a draw for $20 DK. That's it. Paul, do you don't have Instagram, do you?
Is it actually a thing? Like you heart a video on Instagram?
Well, it's like is
I'm not a picture guy. I hated photos growing up. It's really weird that I ended up in like this environment.
You got a fresh new haircut?
Fresh new haircut. My new fucking haircut.
New fucking haircut, bro.
Mom, where's the muscle milker? Whatever. Yeah, lots of ways to win DK bucks.
And I apologized last week. Actually, the both of us apologized for the audio last week.
I take responsibility.
I'm pretty sure my mic wasn't on. I think that was the problem.
It had to be.
And you can see that I have this keyboard in front of me, so that means I'm doing this with the cameras. We're going from the 2 to me, to you, to the 2, to me, to you, to me, to you, to the 2.
Yeah. And usually I'm behind the scene listening to these
and
things.
switching the cameras as we go through.
It could have been turned off because like when I went back over there, it was like yours was slightly lower than it should have been. Either way, it was sloppy work.
We tested
sloppy
it this time.
work.
Now watch it turn out to be shit again.
Yeah, or we just didn't even hit record.
Yeah, that happens from time to time too. Yeah. For these shows,
and then only. But then again, nobody would actually know.
I guess that's true
because it would never get released because there would be nothing to release.
Smart.
Yeah.
Let's get to the fantasy scoring from last night's show, episode 2. Wes is the highest scoring individual on the board. He scored what I got here.
57 points.
50. That's like a lot more than everyone else.
It's no Hunter week 1. But.
No, you're not always going to have big boom weeks when it comes down to it. Zach was second with 40 points. Then we got Killer Cam coming in with 39. Kane, her partner, 35 points. Zahida and Polly tied with 34. Ninja and D tied with 32. Kyle with 29. And poor Johnny Bananas eliminated in this episode.
Legend goes home.
Scoring his 10 points on his way out the door. We called this last week. You don't put a legend will go down in the trailer for the next episode if Bananas isn't going home.
Yeah,
or Wes, or CT.
Yeah, like Zach would have been a stretch because Zach's a very good competitor. I wouldn't put him in legend status yet. It would have had to be, CT or Wes that went into him. Or Kara at this point, yeah.
Although I think Cam is getting herself up to legend level. Anytime she's on screen, I'm 100% in.
Talking about your little DK Bucks challenge there, like Cam and Kane is a team to watch out for. I know that we were really big on Turbo coming into the season, but like think about it this way. If these teams stick together, and we know that these teams don't stick together, we
don't?
Well, there's twists and stuff along. Sometimes they don't always stick together.
Do you know something that I don't?
No, I don't know anything that you don't. I have not been reading spoilers. But what I'm saying is that, like, would you rather have the female component of, or Cam as your female component of a partner, or Nani? Like, Cam wipes the floor with Nani if it's any sort of competition.
If it's any sort of competition, but we didn't see a ton of it because it was a lot of like, we did the mission, we had a bit of bickering, we did the tribunal, then we had the elimination. There was no real in the moment like hookup points or drinking points or anything like that. That's where Nani comes into play.
Yeah,
because she's gonna be hooking up. She's gonna be running.
She didn't do anything this episode.
No, it wasn't a big Nani episode. Like they skated through.
We haven't seen much of Nani. We haven't seen much of Kara. We haven't seen really all that much of Polly. Like they're going places here. It feels like.
You told me you had a hot CT take.
He's looking really shitty.
Is
like dude, and that like the mud challenge, the mud ball challenge, like he's beyond like dad bod at this point. Like he was like bloated out of his shirt. Like it was CT is not, if they have to do any running, if he got to a final, I don't think he is. He's just kind of washed up at this point. If he got to any sort of final, like he is screwed. Because like now you have other guys like Kane and you have Theo and like all of these other guys are like, you know, the athletes with the type of intensity that maybe not the same level of intensity that CT had, but they're in great shape, and CT is not. Like it is not good, and he doesn't have a good partner really either. Like
yeah. Speaking of Instagram, I use most of my Instagram just for following challenge people to see what they're up to, and CT is in much better shape now than he is on that show. It looks like he really recommitted himself to getting into shape,
which probably leads us to believe that like he goes home relatively soon, and he was just like, and he probably loses to like some scrub team, and he got embarrassed.
Guess so. Do you want to talk the mission first? Because I really liked it this week.
Yeah, sure.
So we have the winners of the mission from this week. It was Paulie and his partner Ninja, to be reckoned with. By the way, I think she's the best girl on the season.
Feels that way.
Like she's physically dominating.
Her Cam could be an issue. I think her and Cam, like Cam's super strong.
I would say that Cam. I would say that Cam is smarter than she is strong. Like I think that's her big.
Yeah. I don't know. Kill a Cam. Cam goes in there and throws hands.
I guess so.
Like she was carrying her loser partner last year.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
So Cam and Kane end up with one of the tribunal spots, and then we have Wes and D get in as well. The best move pulled in this entire thing, we'll get to the Zach thing in a second where you like threw it, and I don't really know what's going on with that. But
Zach is sneaky.
Zach is
I don't believe I think it's bullshit. I think he knows Johnny, and hey, it's not a bad strategy. It's like you can't be exclusively on Johnny's team because Johnny's not exclusively on your team. Johnny's gonna throw you under.
Johnny's
the bus.
on Leroy's
Look at
team.
all of the other years, and eventually Johnny throws you under the bus. So I think Zach has just been on the show long enough that he's like, all right, if I'm going to make any of these alliances, I cannot let it be caught on camera. So it's like when they have their microphones off, because obviously like they have their little microphones on at most times, but there's obviously probably a few periods or hours of the day or whatever where the camera crew has some time off and like they're able to kind of be on their own with their, you know, and have.
I don't know if they do. I think the way the production works, it's like two waves of production teams, that there's always someone in the house and they're always mic'd up. That's the impression that I gathered from it all.
I don't know. I feel as though they would at least know places to go where they wouldn't be recorded at the time. Like, you think they're getting like sued if they took their microphone off for a second?
Maybe, but I feel like people would be
like, I feel
savvy to what you're up to.
Zach would not let him being like, all right, I'm going to throw Johnny under the bus, end up on camera. I
guess so.
And if that was on camera, you know that they would be showing that. And then he would have a completely, like, there's no way that he threw it directly to Wes. Like, come on. So obvious that something was up there.
Well, we're gonna see this a bit in the challenges because remember we were talking about the relic at the end. What could that possibly be? I like what it turned out to be. That you're just safe. You win an elimination, you're safe from the next one, and that's gonna have a massive ripple effect on these missions. Because like Hunter and Georgia were, they did well in the mission itself, but when it came down to it, let's get Wes safe. We're safe as it is, and then we control everything. Mm-hmm. So I like that dynamic of it.
I do too, yeah.
So in the actual mission itself, you have what you learn is big in these challenges. So you do it once, and then the girls go, and then the guys are back out doing it. So they find all the balls. Wes and CT get their ball, and everything that's happening is the first people in the pit just get absolutely annihilated. So Wes and CT like hang back in the cut, just stand there with the ball for a bit, wait for the first two people to go, and then they just run out, give it to their partner, and they just sprint to the end. Genius. Very smart stuff.
And that's why Wes is able to compete these days when he's not.
He was looking pretty buff in this one.
Not like old Wes buff.
Yeah, you're trying to put him on like 200 pounds of twisted muscle.
He looks better than CT. I'll give you that.
He looks like he's in great shape.
He looks like he's in good shape.
And he's come to play this year.
He doesn't. He's just not on the vitamins.
I don't know if he ever was.
Oh, he was definitely on the vitamins.
Not necessarily.
Dude, he had like...
He was 12 years younger. at that time. You can build a lot of muscle when you're like 22.
Fair enough.
Not so much.
How
when
old do
you're-
you think he is now? Like probably close to 40.
I'd say he's like our age.
You think so?
Yeah, he's like 33, 34. I would think.
Maybe.
I could be way off on that. That's always like the vibe that I got from him. Because I think he was 19 on Real World Austin.
Oh, okay.
And
So
that-
he was a young starter.
Yeah, maybe at maximum he was 21 when he was on that, and I think that was like 12 years ago. They run these seasons a lot.
It's true. Like it's
There's
these days now too. It's just like it's like season into season. Like there's not much of a little intermission. There's not much of a break in between seasons these days.
No, well, we didn't even get a chance versus stars season in between, which I like. We need to dial it back. I don't mind chance versus stars. We need to dial it back. I don't need one in between every single season. The layoff was nice. It got me excited for this time around. So, two big things stuck out. Yeah, you mentioned that Kane guy is an absolute monster. How did he play professional soccer and not professional like rugby?
I don't know, man, but like that guy is a force to be reckoned with. Like if he is going in and he's like well adjusted mentally as well. Like,
It seems that way.
He seems like he hasn't like raged out on anybody. He seems very calculated. But dude, he had 4 people, and like one of them was like Zach. Like Zach was like a former like arena football player. He's like sprawled out all over his back, and this guy's just like, I just had to get the finish line. He's carrying 3 people through a mud pit into the end zone. Like that guy is an absolute destroyer of worlds, and I'm so upset that I don't have him
Yeah,
on
I
my
don't have
team.
him on my team either.
Like, that was the play. Cam, kill Cam.
In hindsight, it seems like a really terrible decision, especially based on their price.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah,
know,
he was like 160.
I don't know anything about these yahos.
I have Cam on my team too. It's like my roster construction led me to get him on there.
Did you have Bananas or his partner?
No. I still have everybody on my team.
Yeah, I have everyone left right now too. A lot of people lost Bananas though.
Was he highly owned?
He was. Bananas always gonna be highly owned.
What are people doing? They should have been listening to us. You did not want Bananas this year.
You never really want Bananas in fantasy.
Wes and Kara were the only options in the $200 price tag.
See, I think CT was 200 too.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
You
like,
didn't want
CT and Bananas were the 2 people we're saying like completely fade. You got to stay away this year.
Zach mentioned at the end of this, like him and Bananas aren't going to be friends anymore. I just find that so hard to believe. It really didn't seem like Johnny wanted to be there all that much. Like, I think he's pretty content with his other show. He'll make his cameos for 2 weeks on the challenge.
Yeah,
and just bugger off.
They probably pay him pretty good.
Oh,
He's like, he probably gets a flat rate just for being on a season
Well,
anyway.
They
so,
all get a flat rate for being on the season.
Yeah.
And you get,
but his is probably better.
sure, but you get more for each. It's the total of how many seasons that you've been on.
Yeah.
He's been on the most seasons.
So for him, he's like, this is quick money. I fly out to Namibia. I spend like a week there. Fly back home. I can take care of all my business, all my other enterprises, and it's just like
I can go on my shoot to Scotland to do my first look show after SNL. This is going great. But I even saw on Instagram he had some sort of like series with him in South Africa with Tony. Like Tony's not even on the season. Maybe he's an alternate. I don't know.
No.
And so like MTV stuck around for a bit and shot extra stuff with Johnny, like him and his partner
Interesting.
are shooting extra stuff. So
him and Morgan.
yeah, like I saw them like riding around ATVs through the desert, stuff like that.
I thought it was interesting, and like on our on the board that we made for the top 10 scores this week, I used it when Johnny was consoling his partner at the end. He knows he's going back to a hotel, like some sort of hotel before they take off for their flight to head home. He was making sure that he was gonna have a good night. I could sense that.
What do you make of this locale in Namibia? I think it sets up really well for production.
Like the desert scenes are super, super cool. Like it looks really cool with like, they have drone cameras and stuff like that going on.
But like even the setup that they had, like last week they had all those like junked cars, which is, low production costs, I would assume, in Namibia. So you just run those over, bring as many as possible. But even setting up like the giant rocks this week, like the crane budget to move those rocks into the certain position that you want them, and then just having all that space around to do it. Like, I think we're going to see some pretty cool challenges this time.
I do. And I guess, in the past, they've probably had issues with like, hey, when we go to Mexico or when we go to like Colombia and like they go out on the town for the night, it's just like, I don't know how much you're going to be going out on the town in Namibia. I don't know anything about Namibia, so maybe that's maybe that's a problem. Maybe that's completely false, and they have a very, very lively nightlife scene. But I don't think you're going out in Namibia.
Well,
like, are they gonna have like they go out on the town, go to the bar type of nights?
I don't think so, which almost makes it a bit better because we used to see in the past, like
that's when all the fights happen, though.
all the fights happen. But we used to have the like even. Do you need a pen so you stop like touching your face?
I'm getting used to the beard here.
Okay, because you're all over the beard.
I'll stop. It's
You need to be a hand talker like me.
I'll go like this.
That's probably the move.
There we go.
So in past seasons, we used to have like costume contests at the house. Like they'd have like parties at the house, like theme parties. Maybe we'll get back to that this year because they do seem to be in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Johnny never actually had his. He never had a welcome speech.
No,
it was a really like. Johnny didn't contribute shit to this season.
No, and we got
perfectly honest.
And it's always a tell when you get so much Johnny in the first 2 episodes that he's probably going home. Now he rarely does go home this early, but we never get this much Johnny at the beginning.
What do you think of CT's comment about this being Wes's masterpiece?
They're really building up this to be the season of Wes,
Mm-hmm.
which I like because he's on my fantasy team,
Yeah.
and I like Wes. I would like to see him win, but I don't know.
Does it make you nervous that they would
No.
point that out? Because then it's like, oh shit, maybe he goes in next week type of thing.
Potentially, but I think we're seeing maybe he'll go in, maybe he can win, but it seems like it's going to be an extended run for Wes. Like it's kind of shaping up like he's the star of the season, which I'm all good with. But it's a nice Wes redemption story too, because the last time you see Wes, like he got progressively more likable as it went along, but like he was the villain of this show for 4 or 5 seasons. And like Bananas was technically the hero at the time, but that's kind of flipped itself. So you can build up Wes. He's not going to be back every single season. He's got shit to do in his real life. But if you can just kind of put him in, he can be a good competitor every now and then. And now that Bananas is out, this is what happened to Wes towards the end of the Wes run, where he'd be on for 2 episodes. Everyone would just try to get him out. They would eventually get him out, and then he was gone. It seems like that's what's happening with Bananas. So now in like 4 seasons time, we're going to get the Bananas redemption arc. He'll come back, be super popular, and he'll end up like winning again.
Well, like after he screwed over Sarah for the money, now there's whether you believe that he actually did that or if that was scripted. That's neither here nor there. But like, yeah, now it's really hard to root for Bananas. He turned heel, as the wrestling marks would say, that day when he decided to not share the money with Sarah.
He's also like outgrown the show too. Like this week, Rolling Stone released a profile of Johnny Bananas, which is like a big deal for Johnny Bananas. It was the highest ratings the challenge has seen for the premiere in like 6 years. So people are really interested in the show. So whatever they're doing with bringing in these Euros, it's working.
The Euros.
People from Big Brother, it's working in terms of getting actual viewership. And people complain that there's too many Euros and Big Brother people on the show.
I think it's really... I like the new characters. A lot of them.
I like them too, but the thing you have to realize, they're not replacing like real world people because the real world doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
They're replacing veterans who are probably a bit too old to be doing this anyway, and all the Are You the One people who were absolute losers anyway.
Yeah. No, it's like Dario and what was Dario? Dario had a brother as well. That was completely
His twin
awful.
Brother.
I forget what his name was. Yeah, we railed on them back in the old studio. Yeah, Dario turned out to be like.
There was that season where he just slept the entire time.
Yeah, he was pretty awful. I didn't mind Nani's cousin.
But she's on like, she's not made for the challenge. Like she's on X on the Beach now. Perfect. Like Nelson, I think, is on X on the Beach. Like put them there. Corey's on Teen Mom. Like,
yeah. Well, did you see this clone advertisement?
Yeah. So
clone dating.
Yeah.
You're looking for your clone. Like
I
what the hell is?
I don't know.
Kara was on it.
Kara's on it. That Derek guy is on it, who was like the biggest dud in challenge history. Pauly D's on it.
Yeah.
I think someone else from the challenge is on it too. I can't remember who it is. Anyway, it's pretty good. I'll watch an episode.
I think it airs tonight.
I will give all of those shows a chance, and
or
they're all
I think it
usually pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm out on Lohan Beach House now. It pops up on my like DVR. I'm like, nah, can't do it. If someone just supercuts the Pano scenes, I'm good. I will watch that on YouTube. I can't be bothered to watch.
If anybody from MTV is listening, there's something for your web.
There's
department.
one view for you that it just supercut all the Pano stuff. It's like the Jay Cutler Very Cavallari show.
Yeah, you can't actually watch the whole.
Just supercut the Jay Cutler scenes into something and then send them to me, and I'll watch all those.
Like watching the full episode of that show is awful because most of it is actually like Kristen and her friends and all like
trying to run some sort of business which seems seems super fake.
Yeah,
like it just seems
exactly.
very set up. Like the only genuine part of the show is Jay Cutler just not giving a shit about the entire thing.
Which, yeah,
it's
he's
fantastic.
awesome. Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for season 2 of that. I'll watch it.
All right, like I can't wait to see the clips pop up on my
Exactly.
YouTube feed. Exactly.
Yeah, that's all you need. So back to this mission. Yeah, I like the CT and Wes route. And did CT throw the ball to Wes at some point too? I feel like Wes got 2 balls thrown to him. I can't really remember, but it seemed
Somebody
like
did. Yeah, I think Wes did get through 2 balls thrown to him.
it just seemed like they were actively like the rig was in on Bananas. They were tackling his partner just from the outset, making sure she didn't get through. And then everyone, it's almost like Wes went to everyone and said, look, if I get in, I will make sure Bananas gets thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, all right,
But
we're down with that.
That almost kind of backfired too, because like, what was TJ gonna do if they didn't split that vote?
I'm sure that they have a contingency plan for it, but
It was kind of bullshit though that he was throwing it on Kane and Cam.
He said anyone could change their vote.
I know, but he was throwing it on them as in, are you sure you don't want to change your vote? Just like, why aren't you asking Pauly and Ninja and
well, because it was very clear who those other two were voting for.
Of course. It was because they have rivalries and stuff like that. And they knew that Cam and Kane were just burning their vote, but they were allowed to burn their vote. Why aren't you asking them to vote in Amanda and Josh?
Sure, well, I thought it was a decent, like, not necessarily a cliffhanger, but him being like, well, what happens if it's a tie? It's like, well, let's find out.
Mm-hmm.
And do you really want to go through with that?
Kane's like, all right, let's get rid of Bananas.
Well, I don't think that they could have put anyone from the tribunal in because they're not even wearing gear.
Yeah.
Like everyone else is wearing gear, they're ready to go. And like Hunter and his partner, Georgia, in the tribunal are like wearing street clothes. So it would almost be worth testing it out now to see what actually happens if there is a tie for later on. Like strategy wise. I can see not wanting to put yourself into the position that you're the guinea pig to find out, but it would be good information to have, I think.
Yeah. Maybe what they would have done is been like, is anybody not sold on their pick? And then like Kane and Cam would be like, well, like we just kind of more or less burned our vote. And then they would make Kyle and Maddie go against Bananas. And
Oh, yeah, that could make sense.
that would make probably the most sense. And then they would compete against each other rather than the person getting voted in being able to choose which team they were on it to go against.
Final thing from the actual mission. There was at the end of it, Theo was
Sorry, I did it
making
again.
like a jailbreak, trying to get to the end zone. Very clear why a lot of track athletes don't translate well to the NFL.
Well, he said he was pretty confident in himself.
He was, but like he ran in a straight line and someone tackled him and he went
Yeah.
out of bounds. And he made the biggest mistake. Like he jumped back in. He shouldn't have jumped back in. He should have went back to the beginning and got a running start again. Because he's way faster than everyone else.
Yeah, he was really confident the first time he got through. Just like, well, it seems like
No one tried to tackle him.
all of that sprint training is paying off, and it's just like, well, and then, yeah, well, he was fine in it though. Like I didn't think
He was. It was just that one where he made the break towards the end and he just got
Yeah.
boxed out.
Mhm.
That for his biggest advantage is his speed and how like the long strides he can get past you, he's gone. That when you get tackled and you get out of bounds, and you still have the ball. Why try to like walk back into the pit and like from a dead stop and try to get back
For
against
sure.
everyone, instead of going back to the start and using the one thing that's your big advantage? Maybe you weren't allowed. I don't know. The rules weren't super well explained.
No, it was just chaos. I liked it though. That was good.
It was a really good episode.
And it was not. We talked about it like the week before, but like, what exactly? Like when they were holding onto the ropes with like the monster truck going over top. It's just like, what are the rules of this? How do you win this? He's like, it's very clear.
Yeah,
How you win this?
take the ball.
Get a ball, get it past this one pole. You get it through that, you're safe.
Anything else from the mission? One of the better missions in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they keep up with this one.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't like last week's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The major takeaway is just like, Jesus, you do not want to end up in close quarters with Kane.
Well,
Like,
and-
he will destroy, I think, everybody in this house. If it's like a physical one-on-one type of thing, the guy is an absolute monster.
Let's go through the people then. Physically, who could match up with him in this house? If it ends up being an elimination where it's one of the ones where you run at each other, is there anyone that could take him?
No.
I think CT has an advantage because he's bigger. You say, like, yeah, he's not as athletic as he used to be, but he still has, like, you need size if you're going to compete because Kane's not super tall, it seems.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd like
CT
to see the two of them standing. He definitely is not super tall.
Like CT will have size on him, and in these sort of things, like size is the only sort of remedy to beat the guy who's super jacked up. Like, you just need to be bigger than him.
For sure. But
Like,
yeah,
Zach isn't as big anymore. Like, he's kind of like melted down a little
the
bit.
shorter guy always has leverage, though.
I guess so. But we're just looking for people that could potentially go up against him. Turbo could, because Turbo's just super jacked as well. He doesn't seem to have as much fluff muscle as Kane.
Is it fluff muscle?
Maybe
I
it's
saw the
not.
guy carrying. He could
I'm not saying
have
that-
attached
I'm
a
not saying that-
transport truck to
I'm
the
not
back of
saying
this
that the guy isn't strong.
Watch out when the
But-
cane is coming through.
It looks like Turbo is a very lean type of fan. Like, he's still like big, but he's also super lean. Kane's not super duper lean.
Mm-hmm.
He's just really bulky.
Turbo hasn't gotten much run on this show yet.
Turbo had a very good performance in the Mud Challenge.
Yeah.
Because he, like Kane, they were trying to get it away from him, and no one was taking the ball from Turbo. And he had a great moment at the end, too, during the elimination. Turbo, where's Turkey? No, it is one down. Thank you. Although, I guess, do you want to talk about what happened in between? Tribunal, that sort of stuff?
No, that was all pretty predictable.
How about this? Amanda, maybe take a different strategy with your partner. Don't make your partner hate you. It doesn't seem to be working out so well.
I don't know. I kind of supported her for the first time ever.
Well, I don't like Josh,
I
but
hate
I
Josh.
get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
You talk down and make an enemy of everyone in the house,
including me.
including me, who's your fucking partner, you idiot.
Yeah, we need to work together type of thing. Like, he totally made sense, but I also was just like, you know what? I can understand why she's mean to you. You're a goober.
But so is she. She's awful.
She is. She's Satan. She is the worst. Somebody in our little comments said that, apparently Morgan, Banana's partner, said that Amanda was a very, very nice person until she drinks. But maybe she's just drunk all the time.
It does seem like she's drunk all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes for most people in the world. I'd say 85% become a lot meaner when they drink. Then there's the 15% who become hey, you're the most fun dude in the world to hang out with.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, now they got a bunch of booze into you. Most people go the other way.
No, I got to switch.
You got the switch? You get to the point. It flicks?
You've seen the switch,
I've seen it, but I always feel like that depends on what you're drinking. So if you're in a situation I don't drink liquor anymore because I'm a bad person when I drink liquor. I can drink vodka from time to time, but I just don't. I stick to beer, I stick to wine, and I stay away from fucking rum and tequila. Like that, I become a miserable person to be around.
Yeah, whiskey, my Irish heritage, Irish roots really come through when I crack into some Canadian rye, Canadian whiskey.
But I mean, do you find that people get belligerent on beer? If someone's sitting down drinking a 6-pack, or even drinking 2 6-packs, that they become insufferable to be around, mean for anger.
No,
beer's not a real angry drunk.
it's true because it takes so long to drink all of it.
Yeah, you get yourself all tired out.
You get kind of
You have
tired
a
and lethargic. That's the kind of drunk that you get. But
if you have a Guinness, it's like having a meal. You just want to take a nap.
It's true.
And if you're having, I don't know, if you're gonna what do you drink whiskey with? Just whiskey? Whiskey on the rocks?
It'd be Diet Coke or something like that.
Yeah. So even if you're drinking Diet Coke, a lot of people mix with Red Bull, that kind of thing.
Or ginger ale.
Not only I like ginger ale. Not only are you getting all the badness of the booze fucking you up, you're also getting all the sugar rush that comes with. I mean, you're not getting the sugar rush with Diet Coke. You're getting the aspartame rush of it, but it's just giving you more energy.
You're getting the cancer.
Yeah, you're just getting more fired up as it goes along. So
For sure.
Maybe that's what happens with her. Maybe she needs to change what her choice of drink is.
Maybe she just has to stop drinking if she's
Potentially. I mean, that was
bad
always
person.
CT's big problem.
It's true. Now
seems
look
he
at him.
stopped
He's
drinking.
a lovable guy, super nice.
Barely on the show. He's doing commentary.
Doesn't knock anybody out, try to kill anybody
Maybe he
anymore.
will. Maybe that'll be the big twist of the season. We'll get old CT back and he starts being a lunatic.
Oh, God. Hopefully.
Because he'll be in with Wes. So
Seems
it
that
feels
way.
like he should go far. And they're not showing him at all. So I would figure that
He's actually one of the small. I feel as though he's one of the smallest threats this season.
maybe. And it was weird last season. Maybe it's because his partner's a dud and we don't even know anything about her. But last season, I thought he was fine, but Veronica just didn't want to compete.
No, she was awful.
Yeah, she was bad.
He was trying to get her somewhat motivated, and you could just tell she was just there to have a good time.
So CT could match up against Kane, I think, physical-wise. I think Hunter could too, and potentially Turbo. Because Hunter is the same sort of build.
Yeah, he's just not as jacked.
He's not as jacked, but he could be just he's not in as good physical again, like fluff
Like-
muscle shape. Like,
like
everything
Kane-
on Kane is like defined. Like the traps are there. Like the little mini shoulder muscle is there. Hunter's just like a ball of muscle.
Like Kane looks like a superhero.
Yeah, but he looks like he could be in Avengers. You're right. He looks like a Hemsworth when it comes down to that. But those guys aren't necessarily always the strongest people. They're just the best at. Like a lot of it's a genetics thing too. Like Hunter and like Turbo, Hunter, and Kane could all be the exact same amount of strong. That strong manifests itself different in every different body type.
Well, when you look at like strongman competition,
yeah, when you're Magnus
it's
von
never like the
Magnuson,
super jacked guys. It's like these just monstrous dudes that actually have zero definition that are like dragging trucks around and stuff like that.
It also helps to be from like Norway and Iceland if you're going to be a strong man.
Well, yeah, you need the Viking
blood in you.
roots.
You want to have more Viking blood and less of Charlie Sheen's tiger blood in you. You don't want that.
100%.
Did you know?
What?
My wife is now like she watches Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I do think it's like the one that I can sit down and watch too because it's actually pretty funny. Denise Richards is on it now,
Wow.
and she's like,
I thought she was dead.
no, she's constantly bringing up Charlie Sheen too. So I'm really hoping that we get. I haven't seen Charlie Sheen in like 4 years. What happened to Charlie Sheen?
Why does she bring him up all the time?
Because that's her ex. She has 2 kids with Charlie Sheen.
Oh,
That's her ex-husband.
okay, that makes sense.
And
I didn't know that I didn't know that they had the kids together.
she's not looking as great as she did in Starship Troopers.
What
Throw
was
that
the
out
other
there.
one?
It is 25 years
Wild
later.
Things was the
Oh,
other.
man.
She was great in that.
Wild
too.
Thing. I remember that was rated. I don't know what the like Canadian ratings differ from American ratings because I think there's like PG-13, PG-13, and R. We have like 14 here. That was a 14 movie, and I think that I was like 12 or 13 when that came out.
Yeah, you get some full frontal, or not full frontal. You get some top.
Had to sneak in, and a lot of Nev Campbell and Denise Richards making out, and Bill Murray's in the movie too.
It's a great flick.
It's not great.
I
Not a
mean,
great
like
movie.
at that point in my life.
Oh yeah, it could not have been geared more towards like a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly.
sweet.
Boobs.
Yeah, boobs, Nev Campbell coming off a Scream, and Matt Dillon coming off of Something About Mary, where he's just like an ultimate sleazebag.
Yeah.
And he's an even bigger sleazebag in Wild Things.
Yeah, I don't know if. Yeah, you're right. I don't know if it would last the trials of time if we went back and looked at that movie and saw.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be like, wow, this is great. I'd be like, oh my god,
You know,
this is
just-
horrendous.
yeah, this is horrible. So in between, you have the tribunal, and you also had like a weird throwaway scene with Georgia and Bear. So that's going to be something because there's absolutely no need to include that scene if it doesn't lead to something else.
I don't even remember the scene.
They were hanging out with Bananas,
Mhm.
Bear, and George is like, oh, I think that George is the hottest bird in the house. And then more bad British accents came in. It's great. Also,
Hunter is starting to warm up to the idea of Georgia, though.
bet she's warming up to Bear now. Maybe they'll have conflict.
That could be it.
Maybe that's what we're
because
getting at.
because Hunter was seemingly like you could tell that Georgia was in. She was in on it with Hunter, but then he kind of wasn't leading her in that direction. But you could kind of tell in this episode that he was warming up to the idea of Georgia. He definitely likes her as a partner, and she seems like a gamer.
Well, what would you rather have? Would you rather have like the not necessarily really good partner?
Like Ashley would have been is the classic example of I think what you're going.
Yeah.
Someone who's really good, has a good track record, but like is impossible to work with unless it's on her terms.
Or she just might not, she just might phone it in.
Yeah.
And that might be the end of it. Or would you rather have like the average to below average partner, but they're giving it every single time that they're out?
Yep,
I think I would rather want that partner.
100%.
That
Like
might-
I've been a co-ed softball coach for many years, and you always want the person who's just like gonna run out to first base as hard as they can every single time. I don't care if they hit the ball out of the infield.
No, I will go the other way on that one. In co-ed softball, your co-ed softball team is determined by how good your best girl is.
For sure, but you
Because if you have like an elite girl, you're just going to smoke everybody.
yeah, but sometimes the elite girl with the attitude doesn't show up because
I don't know.
They don't
From my
have to
experience
sometimes.
with it, we shout out to Angie, who always played with us. She used to play third base and was fucking awesome.
Mhm.
She was probably top 4 players on our team overall because we had a lot of really bad dudes. That also doesn't help your softball chances when you just have like scrub dudes who have to like play catcher.
Mhm.
Just quit. Be off the team. Just go drinking.
It's true.
Like it's not good. It's not a good look when you're the guy that can't hit the ball out of the infield.
No,
And
nobody
you-
wants to be that guy.
And you have to play like catcher, and then but those people always think they're really good. That's never a good sign either.
Yeah, and like when they don't, they want to. I always have always hated like people who are like, I play shortstop, and then it's just you see them, it's just like,
No, you don't.
no, you don't, man. Like you're
bad.
You're right field. We're gonna hide you in right field, and hopefully the other team doesn't have a bunch of lefties.
We're in softball. Where do you put your best defender on the field?
Short field or shortstop.
Do you put it at shortstop? Because I always feel like in slow pitch, at least, you have so little chance of getting to a hard hit ground ball anyway. Like, you really have no radius. It's not like playing baseball where you put your best athlete at shortstop. They can patrol the entire side of the field because you have 90 feet to go run to. You can get to the ball, make a throw, and still get there before. But if your shortstop is taking more than like 3 steps to get the ball, it's really hard to throw someone out running at like moderate speed at 60 feet. Like, the ball needs to be at you. You need to be good at taking a grounder hit directly at you, or the ball's just past you.
I mean, one of my co-ed softball teams, we had a guy who played American University baseball, and he was a shortstop for like Virginia.
Sure, he's probably a
whatever.
vacuum.
It's like Virginia Commonwealth or something, their baseball team. So yeah, when he played shortstop, he got everybody out, regardless.
Sure.
If you hit it towards him, they were getting out.
I feel like that's more of an
and he was
outlier
throwing
in this situation.
lasers. We had to be careful about who we put at first base to catch that ball because he was throwing lasers.
Like, I think we'll say shortstop, probably the best. You need someone that can not be terrified to play third base because those balls fly at you in softball. But left and center, I think, where you put your 2 best athletes.
Center field is definitely
Well, it depends on
probably your best overall.
It depends on
athlete.
how you structure your team too. Like, do you use your rover as a 4th outfielder, or are they legitimately a rover? Because like a lot of times, we would just kind of stack the rover, especially if there's someone on first, stack the rover, just put them basically on second base. That if anything gets past the pitcher, it goes right to them. But if you want to turn a double play, the second baseman doesn't need to come over to cover because you're not going to be able to turn a double play like that in softball. Like, there's just not enough time to get over to the base, catch it, and make the turn. The person's already going to be there. But if you have someone standing at second base, you just go boom, 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 and you can actually turn it. So rover, I think, is somewhat important. Right field is where you put your worst person.
Yeah, worst person is right field.
Pit-
and second base,
Yeah.
you hide somebody
First
there.
base,
Obviously catcher, but like
But
that's
first base,
catcher,
you just need to be able to catch.
Catcher is let's be honest. Catcher is where the worst player on the field goes.
Yes.
Because even the worst person, like, and lots of the times you'll like let them make the play at home if it's like early in the game.
If not,
But
the pitcher goes.
If you're into the playoff or you're into the playoffs or it's late in the game and the game's close, it's like the first baseman starts running down to catcher to make the play at the plate.
I will say having a good defensive pitcher really helps too, because they can kind of clean up everything that's. It takes the catcher out of play, and it takes a bad defensive first baseman out of play too.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I've been playing is just self pitch though.
Oh, really? That sucks.
Co-ed self pitch.
Co-ed
That's how they run most of the leagues around here.
For efficiency's sake, it probably works better because then you have like the tricky spin ball guy who's like not throwing strikes and walking everywhere. It's like, all right, pro. Like,
Yeah, the co-ed leagues.
We're not going to nationals here. We're trying to get this in 2 hours on a Sunday and have a few beer. Like, calm down.
Yeah. But there's obviously leagues for slow pitch and stuff
Sure.
like that. But yeah, all the co-ed leagues are typically self-pitch. So that takes the pitcher out of the equation entirely.
Any hot takes really on the tribunal?
Not really. Obviously, Kyle and Paulie, they're at odds. They're always going to be at odds, obviously.
I'm kind of with Kyle on this one. It feels like Kyle is over the entire thing, and it feels like Kara and Paulie are obsessed with Kyle.
Yeah, well, they probably talk about him a lot. I'm sure Paulie thinks about him
Always beaten
more than he should. Maybe they do.
That's their cosplay.
Maybe
He dresses
that's
up like Kyle. He gets bad hair plugs and like
who knows?
micro bleeds his beard.
He got a tattoo of her, didn't he?
Paulie did.
Yeah.
He? Or did Kyle?
Yeah, Paulie did.
I don't know. They were on some
Like
stupid
they're
tattoo show.
Already broken up. Like, that's a mistake.
They don't seem to be the savviest.
No.
I'll throw that out there. But it was very clear. Like, Bananas was going to throw in, or Wes was going to throw in Bananas. Bananas knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the way that he went after. It's like, it's too early in the game for that. But you know what? Bananas should have thrown in Wes last week.
Yep.
He really should have. Like, just give people reps to take other people out. That's the move. Don't let Bananas skate by to the end, because if you get him in a final, he's probably going to win.
And like the whole thing of it's too early in the game, it's just like that doesn't even make any sense. Right now, I have the numbers on you, and right now I have the opportunity to put you in there. I'm going to put you in there. Why let him linger around so that he can work the game to his own? Bananas knew that he was out, like the game was out of his hands at this point. So he had to go in there and he had to win. And obviously he went in against Zach and didn't fare so well.
So the elimination itself, and it's funny because I was talking through it with the people that I was watching it with. It was like, they have these maps. So like, it'd be awesome if there's a geography challenge. Now there's a contest I could win. Very good at world geography. So it got down to it, and I'm watching the show, and I'm DMing with people on Twitter about it. And I ended up making a bet once Bananas calls out Zach, which seemed weird. It really seemed like Bananas wanted to go home. That like just calling out Zach, like
honestly though, you look at the
maybe he was the word. Like I know he's not going to call out Leroy, but calling out Leroy was probably the move if you wanted to stay and win. Maybe CT and
Amanda and Josh.
Amanda, you couldn't. Yeah, yes, you could have called out Amanda and Josh.
That was the team if you really wanted to. He wanted to make a point of it, I guess.
I guess so. But here's the thing: you get in. It's like, hey, we have all these flags. You have to put them on a map. So there's the common denominator amongst three of these people, and something about not one of them. One of them is British, although what is she born in Bangladesh?
Bangladesh, yeah.
So not American.
Yep.
Other three people, American. And I put it out on Twitter, just take the non-American in any geography contest, they're going to win.
Oh yeah, like
and someone said it's Americans aren't smart. It's not that Americans aren't smart. It's Americans don't give a shit about the rest of the world, and they're not taught it.
No, exactly. It's like we know
where everything is.
Like us Canadians here, when you're in grade 3, grade 4, you have like American states tests. Like I don't know because I never did any education in the U.S. and this is not an attack on any of our American listeners, but I imagine you guys were not doing Canadian provinces.
Yeah. You're not doing Canadian provinces, not doing like capitals of the world, like studying countries in Africa and where they actually are on a map. Like I just feel like that stuff, I'm sure some people do it once they get to advanced education.
For sure.
But it doesn't really seem like it's part of the standard curriculum of American education.
And well, America's got over like 350 million people. It's world power. Like they have a lot going on in America. It's less that they don't have to worry about what other people are doing nearly as much.
Why care about the rest of the world when you can just care about yourself? So you have the British person on your team. I like that Zach telling her that like
that was the best. I was hoping you're gonna bring this up.
There's two parts of it that I really enjoyed. One was Zach putting Great Britain on Spain and being like, it's up. He's like, no, I know.
He's just like, are you sure? It's just like, listen to her accent, man.
But, like,
Great Britain is a little bit further.
I have a UK flag on my sleeve.
Like, can you hear me talk right now?
The other one was at the very end when Bananas couldn't climb up the thing. I think that's actually what killed them, that he couldn't get to the top. But when he threw up Japan and it landed on Japan, I thought that was going to make them win.
Oh my God, I did too.
But
and then I was gonna be like, that's real. Like I was half ready for him to be like. Obviously when they went into the finals, I was expecting Zach to win. One because of the legend thing.
Yeah,
and
there was also that.
I didn't think as much about the geography test. That's actually a pretty good take on it. But I was also like half sitting there, just like, if you have Zach go home and you labeled him as a legend, like you sit on a throne of lies. And I'm not going to trust anything from any of these teasers ever again.
He does have a win. He's won a challenge.
No.
He's made like 4 finals.
He's just not a legend yet.
He's not a legend. That's true.
Maybe if he won like this year.
You know, him and Jenner are still together.
Getting closer. Are they?
Yeah.
Well,
she moved in with him.
Their story is
weird.
Is very well. One, the story is very, very, very part of this season right now. Which leads me to, like, I just wonder how long he's going to be there or how long they're both going to be there. Like, we haven't seen much of her partner, Gus.
I mean, Chad Michael Murray?
Yeah.
Oh, my wife had a name for him, too, and I completely spaced on what it was. Maybe it was fake Michael Murray? It was something like that, but better.
He looks like,
we were watching it.
He looks like he's, like, part of a boy band or something.
He does. He's actually been, like, shockingly decent in these competitions. I've been very surprised.
He hasn't got much screen time.
He has, but, like, you see him, and he's always, like, 1 or 2, like, crossing the finish line. Maybe people just don't think he's a threat, so they're just like, yeah, go ahead, Chad Michael Murray. It's all about you.
Yeah, don't muddy your hair up there.
So, in the end, they lose the geography challenge. The key to winning the geography challenge, I think, and they ended up with 18, so maybe it wouldn't made a difference. But, like, you have the flags in front of you. If you know what the flags are, I can't remember if they actually had the names of the countries on them. Maybe they did.
No, they just had the flag, I believe.
But if you knew what the countries were, just immediately go and get all the ones on the bottom. that was the move. Like South Africa was one, Australia was one.
True, yeah.
Just go and pile anything that you can reach without having to climb.
You may have only been able to hold on to one at a time. It felt like maybe,
but those are the first ones that you put on. Then
because like that would have been
worry
the
about
strategy.
going
Do
up.
the low ones, and then if you like, be like, oh, there's like India.
But India was
and like
reachable.
Pakistan. It's just like you could go up to the same area and go bam, bam.
Yeah, but even if you can only do one at a time, like you knock off Brazil, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, even India and Bangladesh, and then you hit the African countries. So you hit Namibia, you hit South Africa, and you just get all the, like Zach was able to reach Italy. So even like the just bottom of Europe was available to be reached.
Yeah, the strategy of the person
like,
not climbing the wall should have been like organizing how are we attacking
exactly.
this?
Remember Cam did that last season where they kind of hung back. She organized the entire thing, just like do it in this order, then climb it, and we'll win. And they did win.
Mm-hmm.
Like those organization and efficiency points really go a long way. It didn't matter, obviously, but
no.
So if you could reach the bottom of Europe, so basically you leave Russia and Canada to last, and Iceland, because Iceland was one of them.
Yeah,
that'd be my take on it.
Zach was pretty gassed by the end of it. I don't know about CrossFit Zach anymore.
Yeah, CrossFit Zach. Maybe he's still
climbing the wall for a little bit, and he was super gassed out.
Is he a secret smoker or something?
I don't know.
Something going on with Zach. It's weird.
He's lost a bunch of muscle mass.
Jenna's super like fit now.
He's just domesticated, I guess.
Maybe so, but Jenna's in like the best shape she's ever been in.
Living with Jenna, with their dogs and stuff. Like he's on the CT path, maybe.
Oof. I don't know about that.
It's coming.
All right, let's power rank the people here.
Power rank the teams.
Power rank the teams. Who do you think the best team is? Do you think it's Cam and Kane, Turbo and Nani, Wes and D, Hunter and Georgia? Those would be, I think,
honestly, the team I'm most scared of right now is Cam and Kane.
I guess Paulie and Ninja too.
They're just dominant across the board.
Like we haven't seen,
like in terms of actual competing. There was a little leaning towards Cam and Theo.
Kara and Theo. Kara and Theo's a good team too.
No, I mean Cam and Theo hooking up like earlier in the season. He was talking about her being kind of hot and stuff. So like we don't know, like that could turn into something in terms of overall just dominance in some of these challenges. Yeah, Cam and Kane are the team I'm most
Cam and Kane.
of.
Kara and Theo haven't done much yet. I worry. Do you think Theo would be good in a strength challenge? Because he's like 6'5". Like he's way bigger than everybody else. Yeah. But he's like lean.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would translate to like.
I
direct
mean,
strength.
if you have Kane and him like running at each other in like open field, like
I would be curious to see that because I think Theo would hurdle him.
Yeah, like Theo
would just jump over.
Theo would be so much faster, but like if there's all right, we're in a little tunnel and they have to run. But you know, in football we used to have it was called the Tunnel of Love.
Well, it's the Oklahoma drill.
Yeah, and you would hand the ball, one guy would run around the other guy, and everyone was standing on the outside hooting, hollering, and people would usually get injured.
We saw that. Zach and CJ had that elimination on Battle of the Seasons, I think, and CJ he tried out to be like an NFL punter. Like he was surprisingly athletic. Like he was around the same size as Zach at the time, and he hurdled him. Like they went through that drill head to head, and they like Zach put his head down. He just jumped over him. He ended up losing because it was like best 3 out of 5, and you can only do that once before the guy becomes savvy to it.
So power ranking these teams.
Cam and Kane.
Cam and Kane #1.
I think Paulie and Ninja are #2 only because Ninja's so good.
Paulie's underrated. You just hate Paulie.
I hate Paulie, but I mean I'm not going to say that he's not a decent performer.
He did well in that mud pit.
No one went after him though.
No, but why wouldn't that? Why would they go after him?
Exactly, but like if no one's going after you, it's not a super difficult competition.
Yeah, fair.
If you're just walking to the end, but Ninja put in the work to get the ball. Like I think she is the strongest of all the female competitors, and that just
as she should be. It goes back coming from that show and being.
But
like,
it goes back to the co-ed softball thing. Like the strongest girl is going to make a team really, really good, and if she's by far the strongest girl.
So do you regret not putting Paulie on your team? The free square, as I called preseason.
I got Ninja. That's all I need.
They're a team.
Yeah, so you don't need to have a team all the way down the board. Like I don't have Kara, but I have Theo. I feel like I got the best parts of both teams.
I got both of those teams.
I got Georgia, who I want to see her hook up with Bear for some good points here. Good news for my team, I think. Like we haven't seen really Kyle and Maddie had like they started hooking up.
Yeah, they haven't like.
And Kara very much in her business about it.
Yeah,
like fuck off.
Yeah, leave
Kyle alone. Everyone even Cam's like everyone likes Kyle. Kyle seems like such a good hang.
He seems fun.
And he even said he's like, yeah, I'm here to win, but like I want to have a good time too.
Yeah, that's why we like the new European contestants on the show is that
They want to hang.
yeah, it's just a lot of it when you start to get all of the same people coming every single season, it started to get more serious and there was like a little bit less like drama and fun on the side. And I think there was a little lull.
Well, the drama
there
was
for a bit.
the drama was too like intense. Like
Yeah.
it seemed very personal. The drama on the show is at its best when it's really ludicrous. And I feel like Kyle attracts a lot of that stuff.
Oh yeah, like he's gonna sleep. You know how these things go with Kyle though. Like he'll
Sleep with Maddie, but then he'll sleep with someone else, and then
she's
fight.
gonna be mad, and then that's gonna destroy their team, and they're gonna something's gonna happen in like an elimination where she doesn't trust him, or she just wants to go home, or something like that, and that's gonna end his season because Kyle is his own worst enemy at the end of the day.
And I'm still dubious about like his chops in competition. It looks like he's gotten in better shape. I just don't know if he's out of all the guys left. Like I don't know if he's the worst, but he's among the worst. I think. Although I have no idea if JP is good at all because
he did do like the
JP and Natalie have
when he
not been on this season yet.
It's really I don't even remember seeing Natalie last episode. Like I really don't remember. I remember seeing him like JP he crossed like the line or whatever. It was all muddy and he did something like Brasilia or something like that. But like he looked like he was in good shape. He was doing fine. Bear may actually be a really bad athlete.
Yeah, I don't know with him. It feels like his social game will be really good. People really seem to like him.
British West type of guy.
Maybe yeah, he might. I don't know how savvy he is. I'm guessing he's a bit savvy. I think he won Big Brother. So
yeah.
I mean, I guess same with that Josh guy. Although
that guy does not seem savvy.
But the people that I was watching the show with last night, they watched Big Brother, and there's like, Josh is the worst. Don't ever feel bad for Josh.
Good.
Apparently he cries a lot, and he uses that like to his advantage. Try to make people feel bad about it. Like, come on now. No place on the challenge. Keep that on Big Brother.
Yeah.
You want to try that? CT might punch you in the face.
Maybe not CT.
Maybe not CT. A CT type might freak out, and Hunter might come and punch you in the face.
Exactly. Who at the final teaser there at the end? Paulie was getting into it
with who? Kyle?
Was it Kyle? They showed that somebody's getting up in Paulie's grill about something next episode. I'd have to rewatch the teaser again.
Oh, so maybe it's
Paulie's gonna be scoring me some points next week.
So it's finally
not you some points.
It's finally a Paulie and Kara episode.
Yeah, maybe
because we haven't got one yet. After like their brief tour of where they're gonna have sex through the building. Also, who talks like that?
No, it was very weird, especially with
it's strange,
with
right?
A microphone on.
But no, I get like why you do it for the microphone because they're going to show that on the show. But like people don't talk like that.
No, it's very weird.
Strange stuff.
And then you get triggered that Kyle is trying to hook up with other
Kyle's
people.
like making out with his partner.
Yeah,
big deal. Kyle's just there for a good time. And at least Maddie seemed like she was there. Like, yeah, I'm not marrying Kyle.
Kara's kind of an annoying character.
Yeah,
as time goes on,
but she used to be an annoying character, and then she became not an annoying character.
Yeah,
now she's devolving back into an annoying character.
But then she won a couple challenges, and like I think the fame and shit went to her head, and I think.
Well, let's throw it out there too. I know she beat the guys at the end of whatever the second one was, Vendettas, I think. But
when she had her cousin on her team.
No, she beat Zach. Like she was the solo winner of the second of the Dirty 30 trilogy, but.
Sure.
She got her wins after like all the really good girls left.
Yep.
Like,
Laurel was gone.
She's not beating Laurel. She's not beating Evelyn. She's not beating Emily. Like she's on that next tier down. She's a good character. She's good. But like she couldn't even beat Camilla in Dirty 30.
I feel as though every single season with her it just turns into a drama show. Of her whining, bitching, moaning. Starting to get close to like
Camilla
not
territory?
Camilla territory.
I still don't understand why you hated Camilla so much. I get it now, but you hated her before.
I could just sense it.
You could sense it coming.
I can see these
But like
things.
her drama was crazy drama. I like that. Just freaking out all the time. Kara doesn't really freak out. She just kind of whines.
She did have the best attack on Amanda of all time.
What'd she say to
Remember
Amanda?
she called her like a freckled fuck.
Yeah, you freckled face fuck.
Yeah.
Although Bananas calls that to Wes all the time anyway.
True.
Bananas really makes a point of calling Wes ugly all the time. It's really strange.
This whole thing just feels so fabricated.
It does. It feels like Wes and Bananas are friends.
I think they are friends. We talked about it as the season was starting, the video that they posted where Nani revealed that she was back on the season and it was on Wes's Instagram. They are walking through an airport on their way to Namibia, cracking jokes like almost hand in hand. Like, And then all of a sudden they arrive on the show and it's just like, haha, I'm happy to see you go. It's just like, you guys have built a character. But you know, people who really, really watch it closely, like, we're on to it at this point. Like, you guys don't hate each other. You respect each other at least.
You respect each other, and there's also the entire thing of you got to set yourself up with a good partner for Rivals 4. And we've never had a Wes Bananas team. Because Wes's biggest rival was Kenny. They were the team on Rivals 1. It was awesome to have them together because they still hated each other. And like, that was a real conflict, but Kenny can't be on the show anymore. He's not allowed. So having Bananas and Wes like, that's what this is all leading up to. You have one of these seasons. Maybe Wes doesn't win this one. Bananas the first one out. He hasn't won in ages. You bring them back in 2 years. You put them together. They win, and they can both retire. And it's a great story. Everyone's rooting for them.
Yeah.
That's the way that I would see it. Anyway, Paul Shag, where can everyone find you on the interwebs?
You can follow me on Twitter at Paul Shag. You can also watch my pretty much weekly, every single UFC card, me and my co-host Cody Saftik break them down from a DraftKings and betting perspective right here on the DraftKings YouTube page or on the Pat Mayo Experience feed. So subscribe to both.
Yeah, so if you do subscribe to the show, you're going to get some chances to win some DK dollars, 20 DK dollars to be exact. 3 ways to do that. Smash the like button, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section of this video, and power rank your 3 power teams on the challenge so far this season. Who do you think is going to end up winning? Please keep it spoiler free. We're not here for spoilers, all right? Like I said before, if you get caught spoilering this entire season or even putting that out there, I'll find you on social media, harass you to the point where you have to quit social media. I'm not above that. I just don't want the show spoiled for me, okay? iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, 5-star review, DraftKings handle, something nice about the show. You're in a draw for 20 DK dollars that way too. And subscribe to the show. We got a bunch of stuff, whether it's golf, football, sports, Oscars. The Oscar show is out right now too. So pop culture, entertainment, and sports, it's all there for you. You can pick and choose which of the shows that you want to watch. Plus, if you subscribe to or follow me on Instagram, like the show notes photo from Monday's show, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. You'll be in the draw for 20 DK bucks as well, announced on this Monday show. So make sure to tune into that. I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!